So, in this way, just getting through the practice of Guru Yoga with single-pointed devotion and having that supplication, and then also generating compassion and loving kindness to all sentient beings, and then the bodhicitta, that until one could just get so stabilized with all this one's own just quality, that which one can give rise to it until it become very spontaneous and natural. And then also at the end, just the dedications, these are always important.
Tomarina, Zora Sensitan Basir, Namki Kachi Sensitan, the Marki, Tintin, Tela Tintin, Geni, Ni Tobane, Samba Nidi Geni, Sentin, 20 down the dog, Chedi to Samba, Sur Tombe Nidi Sentin Amibas, Sentin to the Lelo. Suddenly, my hair does on Amibat. Taib said it on the Sanji Govor Moji to be Chedu. Zora said, Children carried the medal what it is.
So, whatever that practice we do in the beginning to have the pure motivation or intention, that which is known as the just in the beginning, the generating bodhicitta. And that how one have to just think that all the sentient beings, they are one or other lifetime is just one's parent, and then understanding the grateful and kindness of all these sentient beings, and then thinking how one can repay back the kindness of all these panelist sentient beings, and then in this way. The best way to benefit and repay back the kindness is to liberate them from the suffering of samsara and lead them to ultimate realization as enlightenment. And in that way, just one have to generate the bodhicitta, which is just very important. Whatever kind of practice or chanting we may do, one have to just have that intention in the beginning.
So, Chetanji, Nelly Tombaniris, Nelly Cheta Tobagal, Dingan this.
And then the second precious thought or the important is that try to maintain in the non-conceptual nature. In a way, all these phenomena are by its nature, it is emptiness. And emptiness is the just absolute true nature of phenomena, and in that way one have to view and one have to understand, and that is the just second precious important thought. And then anytime when we are just getting through the practice, that one need to have just a proper way of just the motivation and attitude, and cultivating the devotion and inclination towards the Dharma, and in that way one have to really concentrate into the practice itself. So, turning inward into yourself and then examining one's mind, which means that our mind are so conceptualized, and at the same time all this kind of afflicted mind, the defilements which are just constantly just arising, and that what we have to just subdue or tame, and in that way maintain the pure attitude or motivation.
Shen, Sartu, Shen, Niente, Tobaron Travaji, Tombanji on the Nolaro, never get it on the latte, Satan, Demboshet, only mimic on Congress.
And then even you do just a deity practice, generating the deity or visualizing the deity, one have to just try to the best level how much clear one could do just visualize, and then whatever the visualization of the deity, how it appears, it has to be also not having the inherent true nature. One have to understand the emptiness, and then just try to maintain that the deity appearance and then the emptiness as a non-dual, that something which appears does not have an inherent true nature. In general, the pride is the just obstruction or that cause of blocking all the just quality or knowledge that one could receive. But when we are just generating the deity, at that time one need to really have that kind of positive pride, just thinking, oh, I'm such and such a meditational deity. So that in a way it helps the just the pride as a antidote. But anyhow, the appearance or the generation of the deity or the visualization itself, one have to generate from compassion and that which appears, but it does not have an inherent true nature. So even we visualize or generate a wrathful deity that like one face or 2 arms or 3 face and 6 arms or just 9 face or many heads in this way. And however, that even the wrathful deity appearances or the generation of the deity itself also has to be in the nature of the compassion and then the emptiness. If it is not influenced by compassion and emptiness, then that will become a ordinary appearance. So, if one does not have these qualities, then one visualizes a wrathful deity, which is just become an accomplishment of a ghost or a spirit. So, the self-characterized deities just does not really help to liberate. So although we think of that I'm such and such a deity when we are doing the visualization of the deity, but at that time one should not influence with the dualistic thought or then the self-characterized thought or conceptual thought, that it has to be just in the nature of the emptiness, union with the compassion and the bodhicitta. If one just think that, oh, I'm doing a wrathful deity, practice and generating myself as wrathful, and then just your eyes widely open, gazing in the sky, and then chanting the mantra, very loud, and then appearing as something very wrathful, self-characterized, that will not benefit you.
Nganabo, Tunabo said, Mr. Yella Nation, did not took it.
So that the lay practitioners known as the Ngapa, and then someone negative in a way, just visualizing this wrathful deity, and then having all this kind of negative thought, and then chanting the mantras to just subdue or to harm someone else, and that possibly could just fall into such kind of wrong practice.
Around Iran just lying some they can come out some separated on that. They can it so said Dodgers Kinjita and Megajikin and Paro sentence on the Chile never seen Master Lapan is on the surgical sentence hotel at another departure. So they don't departure.
As one just because of hatred or anger, then carry through wrathful deity practice, and then having so much anger, and then visualizing in that way, and then just through the visualization, just thinking that to just harm and kill and disturb other whoever the sentient beings are. And in that, there are possibles that one could just through the visualization one could do certain things, but that is the same like a ordinary being who are just killing other sentient being, and it is more negative through this kind of visualization practice.
This is true.
So that is why all these wrathful deities, however it may appear wrathful, that is also mainly based on the compassion. It is not that kind of hatred or anger arise in that wrathful deity. And right now, the Torosa practice, that is also the Alokshora, the compassionate deity, arise from compassion in form of the wrathful Torosa. So whatever sorts of Dharma practice we may do, everything has to be based on compassion, loving kindness, and then the bodhicitta. And then the actual meditation practice of not having the conceptual thought, that one's mind stream not being afflicted by all this affliction, whatever that the deity practice or Dhamma practice, whatever it is. So even in the beginning, when you just listen to a teaching, then there were the three-fold of a vessel, that the container which is upside down, the container which is which has the hole that is leaking, and the container which is mixture with the poisons. And then also that there is also explained about these 6 stains, that which is a obstruction for one's Dharma practice, and then also that not really concentrating on the actual meaning, that one grabs over the word and not just understanding the meaning, or just only just thinking of the word and meaning and not understanding the manner of the words. And in that way there are all these explanations that one have to just properly understand and then try to follow when you are just receiving receiving the teachings.
Zero no, you know, the show in the Chilong Lama and Naja. Then the Chile Teva Lama Teva. Then the near Meva. Zero Genoi Nemma Chadon Lato, Tanji Long and Sundem Chile, Loka Masova. Then the Chile in Java Lasoba, Melo Nimagitsa, Duma Lasoba, then not even they show here and do it, they're not the Timaris.
So those 6 instances, as you find in the words of my perfect teacher, that having the pride, that thinking I'm more better, or I understand more than my teacher, or then having the thought of not having the devotion or interest in the Dharma, and then also not having the just confidence or reliance in the just Dharma, no any interest at all, and then the outwardly all these kind of distractions, and then discouragement, and then inward intentions, and these are the specifically during the when oneself listening to the Dharma teaching, it is a just a stain, so one have to avoid all those. And then just when oneself listening to the Dharma teaching, that sometimes we just hold the words and forget the meaning, and sometimes we only have the meaning and forget the words, and sometimes we just get the wrong meaning, and sometimes we interpret in a different way, and those are also kind of just the wrong method of listening to a Dharma teaching. And then also that when oneself receiving the Dharma teaching, always one need to have a very humble mind, and not having the intention of just to become famous or to become something very special, or something kind of having a wrong view. In that way, one should not listen. One should tame one's mind with a kind of humbleness.
Daniela Nebinduki, Chila Majinduki, Chin de Nelson Lambala, Nene or Suinduki, Otenesine, Duki Gitemba, Otenesores.
And then, as the part aspect of this, what we one have to accept during the listening to the Dharma teaching is that oneself having the concept of like a patient, and then the just Dharma teaching itself as the medicine, and then just carrying through the practice is like a getting cured from that kind of sickness. And then at the end, just when one got completely recovered, and then having that oneself got perfected with this practice. In this way, one need to have all these 4 concepts.
then my body again, Donga Surgan and Yambala Soba, what the did again? Oh, she's Dubicaso, then authority.
And then also, as it is explained in this text, that applying into the sixth perfection of such as generosity during the receiving Dharma teaching, just making all this arrangement of this offering, such as flowers and incense and so forth, and then just while you are listening to the Dharma teaching, just maintaining one's the pure intention, which is the aspect of the moral conduct, and then whatever just during the teaching itself, whatever kind of problems or just difficulty or pain one may have, just having the patience, and then one's mind fully concentrated on the on the Dharma teaching, and then just having that kind of just diligence and perseverance in the receiving the Dharma teaching, and then one's behavior that in a kind of humble and respect manner through all these, just in a way following this aspect of the sixth perfection that which one accumulates the merit.
Deba hinne kechemores, tongi deba debi deba yechibi deba shemedobi debas, dinon dini yechi shemedobi deba de kechigores.
And then also that the most important part of the Dharma practice is the just devotion or the faith, and within that there is the just clear faith or clear devotion, and then the desirous devotion or that faith, and then just the faith of belief, which means that understanding the quality of the Dharma teaching or whatever the object of refuge, and then really having that belief, and then at the end the irreversible faith or the belief that these four one have to just cultivate within one's mind stream.
Not any known it, correction, then not to Monrojingoni, Desi, Mount Hegure, the Inayo, I thought Chitin and Mombashi did, Gender Hezi took him to Ina Chato Chivani Matan de Hakuri, then not the Lanesh Dakuris.
So in this way, just in the beginning, based on these preparations and practices that one have to go through, but somehow we have all these different activity practice. So most of the senior students, maybe you are aware of all this understanding, and anyway just have to read and understand these the intentions and the behaviors.
Chidu Denaka Nayanda Gangar Chimunda Karishunayo, Gonjosola Trota, Daringa, Ndida Kara, Gangar Yumbati, Pamasati, on the Tomas or the lady did the top of the son, the Konoyabasi.
And then during the practice, whatever kind of pain or sickness or problem may arise, then one just do supplication prayer to the triple gem, and then think that these problems maybe become meaningful and useful, that which I could bear for the benefit of all sentient being. In this way, one need to have just a pure motivation. So the Dharma practice is actually everything is carried through practice by the mind. So the mind, our consciousness, that how one could really just think of the Dharma, and then cultivate those devotion and inclination, and even one knows the right way of think relating with the Dharma. Then even you have a headache, still that can also purify lots of negative karmas of your previous lifetime. And when you have headache, and then you just kind of depressed in that way, there is no any benefit.
making it in, I'm going to narrate it, doing a carrying on it in the
And someone who does not know anything about the Dharma, then headache is headache, and then you have to bear it.
Karen Nanate, control the Debashe, Pama Sanjet on the Shandon Nijigo. Then no, you don't go now, no, you something. Nanga drum ever jeer, mother, near Mary. Then not on digit net of doing a junket and not gone and dig coach every person. This is Malon tap. They do only long last of attention. Some don't get it. They not only Niba Chamber.
So someone who knows the Dharma, then just one have to just think in a different way, because the Dharma practice, everything is depend upon the manner of how we think. So even you have headache, just you do supplication prayer to triple gem, and then also just think, oh, this is the just karma ripening, and just generating compassion and loving kindness to all sentient beings, and then thinking that like this kind of headache, it is not just only for me. There may be just hundreds and thousands of other beings who also have similar kind of headache, this sickness. Then just having this headache, that all those apparently sentient beings, whatever kind of headache and sickness they may have, this may be just beared by my this headache. In that way, if that could to be substitute, and in a way one could think in that way, and it is just much beneficial, and also become just something meaningful, whatever the pain you have through the headache. And in that way one have to just understand how to just carry through the understanding of the dharmas. And even sometimes you have certain kind of obstacle that your job or work is not in a proper way, and then worrying so much, there is no any benefit. And if just thinking that way and worrying, if that is useful, then it's okay. But no use of being worrying. Instead of that, whatever kind of obstacle, problem, difficulty one may have, that one could not fulfill one's wishes, it is not just only you. There are just countless sentient beings who have similar kind of problem. And then instead of just being worrying, if you generate compassion and loving kindness, and then thinking that whoever in this world have similar kind of problem, that all those problem and difficulty that I want to bear, and I will just substitute for them, and they may have all this success and fulfill their wishes. In that way, if you think and just visualize, and you generate compassion and loving kindness, then it is just beneficial for yourself and beneficial for all other sentient beings. In this way, you can practice of these even the breathing exercise, that which you find in the Ventus. So this is the method of the Dharma practice. There are many different methods.
Penor Oh,
so, for example, like these beautiful flowers that you see in these, just market, or even the flowers growing in the just hills, and then you think, oh, this is so beautiful, and having that kind of attachment, there is no any meaning. So instead of that, if you think, oh, these all beautiful flowers, I just offer to all the 10 direction Buddha, Dharma, and the Bodhisattvas, and if you just kind of offer in that way, not necessarily you have to just through and offer the real flower in that way.
Then 반절 원수 공부 가리는 이된 지금 편성소바 예바통지 이런 거 생길래 이런 약간 좀 제발 보여서 미바드 세트는 야보요.
So similar like that, in this world, whatever kind of material belongings and houses and good things and beautiful things, whatever you see, just think in that way, and then just offer to all these enlightened beings, and that way just one can accumulate merit. And even just walking and going somewhere, just by the way, simultaneously you are just getting through the Dharma practice. So in this way, anytime whatever just whatever the things that which appears beautiful and good and nice and anyhow all these material things, whether that belongs to you or whether does not belong to you or whether it is belong to somebody or not, these all through our visualization we can offer to all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And even you just see a kind of beautiful water or a pond or a animal or any kind of just object, then just instantly you visualize and you think that you offer to all the triple gem, and that way also one can accumulate merit. So even this our body itself is also assembled of the 100 deities. And even when we are eating some food, at that time also one can just visualize and think that, oh, I'm making this offering to all my body deities. And so by eating this food, of course, it survives your body. At the same time, there are all these, deities within your just body mandala, so, one can offer in that way. And then also, if you have just new clothing, then, first you offer to all the triple gem, and then you wear it, it's also good.
This
and even just Tibet before that, when the nomads, when they just get the milk from these animals, and then the first they just offer from the milk to the 3 times to all the triple gem, and then after that they just carry to home. And then even you just make some tea. Then when tea is boiling, and then just it is almost done, and then first just even 1 or 2 drops you just offer to triple gem, and then you can just drink. Not necessarily you have to just offer with a scope whole bunch of this water. Just only 1 or 2 drops you can just offer it. And then all the farmers, when they get their crop from the field, and then the first portion they just also offer to triple gem.
the Kalana is in the zone of Kalao, saying that was on Saturdays.
And then when we cook some food, and then first check whether it is just cooked or not, and first we eat. And then just making a tea, whether that tea is okay or not, first you drink a little bit. And then a cloth also, when you just saw a new cloth, and then you just put it on and just examine whether it fits you or not. So in this way, if we do, then one just making all this kind of offering to the triple gem, that which one can just accumulate merit, and at the same time one will not forget the triple gem. And it is not that these triple gems they are not getting any food or water or clothing.
Sorry. Lama the cat, don't you manage this?
This Lama is just talks too much.
Oh yeah, today one rodon Togarni, the children, then Salon Tapoperonos.
So this morning is for the Jasa Mondo, and then the Turkel practitioners. So the Salon practitioners, you guys can lead.
Very new, children in Bali, go to trouble, produce Dejibonies.
So today, 2 o'clock, afternoon 2 o'clock, that there is the empowerment known as the Wrathful Guru, with the Kilaya.
Oh, Nazar Nasada, Sanka Demiderendualo, Cotton and Dualo, and then Tassel Denor Pangre, Dala, then Guru Wonravas.
So this is for temporarily, even you have any kind of sickness, and then just like a back pain or chest pain, and then kind of like a mentally having all this tension and problems, and for all this just have the benefit, and ultimately of course one attain enlightenment.
Okay, yeah.